The UAE says it was attacked by 4 ballistic missiles and 6 drones from Iran. This comes the day after Tehran urged 3 major ports in the UAE to evacuate in what is considered the regime's first threat to attack infrastructure of a neighboring country. Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia also announced it intercepted multiple Iranian drones, warning residents today of more potential incoming projectiles. Fox News correspondent Lucas Tomlinson is live in Dubai with more details. Lucas?
Believe it or not, Joey, that was a pretty quiet day here in the UAE. Just 4 ballistic missiles and 6 drones launched from Iran. For the past 2 weeks, Iran has launched over 1,600 drones here and nearly 300 ballistic missiles. That's 3 times the number launched at Israel. And Iran's foreign minister claims he's only targeting American bases here in the region.
We are only targeting American assets, American installations, American military bases. Everything belongs to Americans. They, attacked our islands using HIMARS artillery rockets, which are low-range, rockets, and they used the territory of UAE to attack us.
Now, some residents here would like a word with Mr. Arachi, Joey. Just some of the other day, a drone hit a building just 2 miles from where I'm standing. Many swank hotels that Tommy prefers and skyscrapers have also been hit. Now to Arachi's other point. There are satellite-guided rockets that could reach Iran's Kharg Island using HIMARS launchers. That island in the northern Persian Gulf is a choke point for Iran, responsible for 96% of its oil exports. Trump ordered the oil untouched, only military targets for now. Now, after that American attack on the island, Iran retaliated by launching a drone strike here in the UAE at the Fujairah oil terminal, which is used to ship oil over land via pipeline to Oman and avoid the Strait of Hormuz. Now, Iran's foreign minister also claiming Iran has only closed the strait to American and Israeli interests. Keep in mind, only 2% of tankers transiting the strait ever reach American shores. China gets 40% of its oil from this critical waterway. Iran ships 90% through there. Now, earlier, President Trump's energy secretary thinks this war will be wrapping up soon.
I think that this conflict will certainly come to the end in the next few weeks. Could be sooner than that, but the conflict will come to the end in the next few weeks, and we'll see a rebound in supplies and a pushing down of prices after that.
So this is a showdown right now. Iran is holding the Strait of Hormuz hostage, and President Trump appears to be returning the favor with his major oil hub in Kharg Island. Joey?
Lucas Tomlinson, of course, thank you for your service to our country. Thank you for that update. The cost of war comes with a heavy price, as at least 13 U.S. service members, heroes, have died during Operation Epic Fury. 7 of them were killed in combat-related incidents early, while the Pentagon has just identified the 6 U.S. service members who were killed when a KC-135 refueling aircraft crashed in western Iraq during a combat mission in support of Operation Epic Fury. Military officials said the incident was not due to hostile or friendly fire and remains under investigation. Joining us now is a good friend of mine. This is retired Lieutenant Colonel Lacy Gunnoe. He served as a U.S. Air Force pilot. He also taught ROTC. Lacy, thanks for coming on with us tonight. I really appreciate it, brother. I know you've had a celebratory weekend, and to turn it with this bad news is not fun. The first conversation you and I ever had when we were introduced years ago, I brought up the idea that your voice was important because people need to understand the sacrifice of service members that aren't always boots on the ground but are fighting the war nonetheless, and the dangers that come. As a pilot, that has come full circle to full fruition with the recent news of these 6 absolute heroes that lost their life. What I'd love for you to tell our audience about is just how dangerous a refueling mission is, something that happens weekly, daily in training, and that it's just as dangerous in training or in a safe zone as it is in combat, as we've seen this week.
Yeah, absolutely, and thank you, Joey, for allowing me to shine light on these incredible airmen in this mission and this tanker community. It's going through a lot at this time, and anytime you're flying 2 aircraft in close proximity, it's inherently dangerous, let alone being connected in the air at night in weather. with a complicated and complex set of airspace where you're stacked on top of different aircraft, making sure that you're carrying out your mission. It is inherently dangerous. Throw in some weather, multiple radios, and what these trained, skilled aviators make look routine, and it's really pushed it into the backdrop of this war. It's inherently dangerous, and they're doing it at heavy weights, taking off into that fight in close formation. And I'm so glad we can bring light to that mission and just how dangerous it is and how important it is.
Certainly. Thank you so much for that, Lieutenant Colonel. We're so happy to have you break this down. You know, I come from very much a civilian perspective, and when we hear this, you know, we know how difficult the job of an airman or woman truly is, and we know that a lot of this war so far has really been fought in the air. For our audience, that their best example of everything you're talking about would be, you know, TV shows or movies. Can you kind of break down what a mission like this requires and how it potentially could have gone wrong, though we're still waiting for a full investigation?
Yeah, well, again, it's a complex environment. You have usually a crew of 3, depending on what type of mission it is. Sometimes you may have 6 on there, like this had. And you have a set of orders or a refueler to receiver pair up situations where you're going to go there and you're going to refuel your dedicated receivers. But it's very complex. You might get Rolexed or changed to a different set of receivers. And again, you're talking on multiple radios and listening up for any changes that may happen. So a standard tanker crew is going to go up. They're going to be heavyweight typically, depending on how much runway they have to take off and their performance. They're going to be up there to refuel the fight, and if they get tagged with different receivers, they're going to navigate the space safely and make sure that they're able to complete their mission, which is refueling whoever they get assigned to them. And then once they're on E, essentially, then they're going to come back, reset, go back into crew rest to do it again the next day.
Wow.
So appreciate you being here. And in your introduction, Joey read part of your bio, which is you have been an ROTC instructor. I want to focus on that for a moment because there was this attack in Virginia at Old Dominion University by a jihadist screaming Allahu Akbar, apparently, according to authorities, targeting ROTC members or cadets. So that is a frightening prospect. But there's also the other side of it, the heroism, where those cadets then turned around and neutralized this threat. He had a gun, they didn't. They took him out very effectively. If you could just reflect on what we learned about that.
Well, I think it's important to realize that a lot of these folks, this lieutenant colonel was also a pilot, and maybe like me wanted to go back and give back to this next generation of leaders to shape and sharpen them to do it better than we did, offer them all of our success stories, but even more the mistakes that we made. And it sounds like he was doing something right. This environment of going back to ROTC is typically a safe environment, so my heart is breaking. My prayers goes out to his family and all the families affected over recent events. But we go back there to make it better than we found it. And I think he was doing it right. It seems like his cadets, and from what I've read, he himself did what they could in that situation and lived up to the character expected there, and that will follow them throughout their career. But my heart is broken, and this definitely hits close to my career and a lot of what I've done in my time. It makes me grateful for those that are still out there doing it.
Lieutenant Colonel, these 6 brave individuals who died on this refueling mission, can you just explain to our audience the type of constitution these people had to have had to be able to do this job? This is egoless bravery that many of us can probably not really understand.
Yeah, I think this is the best we have to offer. You got 2 units, the 121st, you got the 99th umbrellaed under the 117th. If you look closely at the airmen, I love that we're sharing on social media these days to not just look at them as aviators, officers, and airmen collectively, but look into their lives. These are not just sons and daughters. These are husbands, wives, and more importantly, fathers and mothers, and some with 3 kids under the age of 4 roughly, where to be able to say goodbye, almost becoming routine. This one probably felt a little different. But to be able to set them down and pick up this mission and go out there and selflessly fly these missions, it takes an incredible individual to do that. And I'm blessed and privileged to have known some of them and been surrounded by these heroes that continue to go out and do what I can no longer do and do what only they can do. It's incredible.
Lieutenant Colonel, I can't thank you enough. I have the pleasure of calling you a friend in my real life, and I think you've shined an important light on who these individuals are and just how heroic they are. And with that comes the fact that, as are you. So thank you for joining us tonight, brother, and maybe we'll have you back on soon.
Thanks for the opportunity. You guys have a great night.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.